Hi everybody, welcome to Video 3. This is Steve Clayton. And you know the best thing about Video 3 is that you don't have to look at my face for the whole video. So we're going to have you look at something different rather than me against a black background. So I'm sure everybody's happy. I promised you last video that I was going to show you an example of one of our e-commerce sites, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I also said that, or we talked about the fact that we have a train horn site. And this niche is certainly niche-y. It's all about people who want to buy authentic locomotive train horns that are run on compressed air, that they actually install themselves on their cars or their trucks or their boats. And as far as I can figure, the sole reason to have this is to make a very loud and obnoxious noise. But to each his own. So here's the first part of the puzzle. People search for the keyword phrase that we identified, that we built our whole niche around, and that was train horns. And we are currently you can see we're number 2 here as I do this. And this is number 2 in US Google, by the way. We're optimizing for the US market here. If you're looking at Google in another country, I have no idea where we might come up. And we bounce around between number 1 and number 2 depending on what mood Google's in the morning. So people do a search on train horns because they're interested in buying these incredible accessories for cars and trucks and boats, and our site comes up and they go and visit. And this is our site, and as you can see, it's very straightforward, right? I mean, people who are doing a search on train horns, and I talked about this in the last 2 videos, these are folks that are pretty much ready to buy. Nobody's doing a lot of analysis and research on train horns. They have a pretty high level of commercial intent. They know what they want, and they want to find a place that they feel comfortable to buy, and they feel like they're getting a good deal. So there are all sorts of little tips and tricks and things on this site that we've packaged for you that really drive sales. And I'm sure you can see some of them. You know, sale ends today, time remaining, secure ordering, these credit card icons, the fact that we cross out the retail price, the fact that the price is not a whole number, low price promise, and all sorts of things like that. So there's just a lot of little things that we do to increase conversions, and that all comes as part of our templates. Another thing to note is that this template is an older template, and it's something that is probably more than a year old as far as the software version and the template designs and so on. We've just never gone back and changed it. So to my mind, it's not a particularly attractive site. But it is, it works. It works very well for us. So imagine if it was even nicer, which, the newer templates that you folks are going to be using in Niche Blueprint are nicer. But they look similar to this, and as you can see, it's all built up with modules here that you can sort of mix and match and put in there. And then your catalog is right here. So if you go over to categories, we can go into the train horn kits. And here's another, little tip. I mean, as we look for niches to get into, we want to make things easy and we want to make the most amount of money that we can. So, we look for niches that require a very small catalog. Our catalog for train horns, at least when we started, was only 17 products. Actually, it was less than that. It was probably about 10 when we first started this. So, and then we've since added accessories and some other brand lines. But, the whole idea was, as you might imagine, pushing a button, setting up the template, that didn't take a long time, and then adding 10 things into the product catalog, that sure didn't take a long time. So the whole idea is that you don't necessarily want something that has 5,000 entries in the catalog. You certainly can do that, but we look to be able to start off a little smaller than that so it doesn't take up hours and hours of our time. And the other thing is that we want items that we can make enough money on, and I touched on that on the other 2 videos. We make a very, very good profit margin off of train horns. If we were selling, $20 watches that we got for $18, well, that wouldn't be very good, and we'd certainly have to make a lot more sales to do that. So, but we talk a lot about that when we try and pick our markets. But what I want to get across to you is that there's a lot more that goes into which niches you decide to get into And the steps that we take you through, again, sort of get you to the point where you're practically guaranteed to be able to make decent money, because we've just sort of weeded out all the things that you won't be able to do well with. Okay, so a customer simply clicks on something, and just like anything else, they can add to the cart, they can check out. I think I already have something in the cart here. This is sample data of a test person, and we'll just check out. And again, this is, I'm not going to go all the way through this, but it's certainly familiar to anyone who's ever bought anything online, and I guess that's really just what I wanted to point out here. What you get with Niche Blueprint is something that you can implement very, very easily, that right out of the box will give you everything that you see on here. Okay? So, after the customer places the order, then the fun part begins. You actually start to get money coming in. And the beauty about these things is that right from pretty much like the first full month that you have your site up and running, and you've started your SEO, you're making sales because you're getting traffic, and we only went after very targeted traffic, and it converts really well. In the second month, this site was already making it, bringing in $3,000–4,000 a month. I mean, geez, imagine if you just started 4 of these, 5 of these, right? In your second month, you could start to bring in $20,000 a month. And I mean, and I think you can see, from the look of that site, if you can push a button and install it, all the work is really finding the niches that you want to be in, right? And with our process, you could do that very quickly, okay? And so it's not crazy. It doesn't take you, 30 days to try and put together 4 or 5 of these sites. It's just not like that. They're very quick to put up. So get 4 or 5 of them. In the second month you're operational. You're bringing in $3,000 or $4,000 a month on each of them. That's a tremendous amount of money. And then, oh, by the way, as you can see, each month as your SEO takes hold and you start to break into the top 5 of Google, you go from 3,000 or 4,000 a month to 7,000 or 8,000 a month to 14,000 or 15,000 a month. And it's lovely to see. And then, oh, by the way, if you did 5 or 10 of these sites and you're at $15,000 a month, well, you could do that math. It's just an amazing amount of money that is attainable, and that's really what I want you guys to walk away with is it's attainable. This is within everyone's reach, without a doubt. So there you have it. I hope that this gives you a good look at one of these sites and gives you an idea of what we're talking about. And I hope I've gotten across just how ridiculously easy it is to put together a site like this, and that it doesn't have to look like the best website on the planet, and start making a couple sales a day and start making some really nice money. Thanks for watching. Video 4. The next one that's coming up in a couple days, we're going to go through all the questions that we've gotten over the last week or so and try and answer them. So you'll want to tune in for that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.